after the buzzer. Okay. Uh, Welcome everybody. Hello to all my friends out there in YouTube land. It's your good buddy Fantastic Phil here. Just a minute or two late. It's been a long week. Before we say hello, this is the point in the show that I urge you to mute your listening devices. My wife has been shocked the last couple weeks as I start my little opening here. So I figure I would dedicate an opening song to her. As she starts to sing. Hold on. And the little guy is here as well, as you can hear. Hey, buddy. Hi. We have a single pair in the bathroom, too, but she likes to wash her hands in the kitchen. Honey? You're the meaning in my life. You're the inspiration. You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration. Want to have you near me. I want to have you near me saying, last week today is live right now. There we go. It's just like Chicago, right? Yeah, fanboy, please no more of the Bay clips. Bay's awesome. Bay dancing, awesome. Maybe not. All right, so let's see who's here with us today, listening to my garble. X11, how are you, sir? Hey, by the way, if you are not familiar with X11, and X11, I hope you don't mind me saying this. If you're not familiar with X11 and X11 Bravo, he does a lot for some of our veterans in the community. So if you ever have any extras that you're looking to get rid of, or perhaps any, like say you have like a prize win and you want to tag somebody, something to consider. Trev, good morning, sir. Good morning. Other Phil, how are you? Some destinations don't get comments. That's okay. Well, Bore, and congratulations on your win today. Oh, you did prize tag Gene. That's good too. Durs, how are you, sir? I hope you got your spawn number one. I heard Brian saying that you were looking to a thing. Okay, enjoy your errands, Bay. Other Phil, have a great brunch. Let's see. Fanboy, how are you? Fanboy, I always have a nice time on Fanboy's show. Let's see. There's Bravo. Everybody talking, saying hello. Bobby, how are you? Let's see. Zach, how are you? Yes, you made it. I should say to everybody, I had a very, very, very long week, and I am behind on my YouTube. Yep, STP. Only STP song I don't like, by the way, Fanboy. Fun fact. That's okay, though. Dale, how are you? My little guy popped up from his pack and play to say hi. Hey, buddy. We're hoping he starts talking soon. David, working and lurking. I hear you, pal. Awesome. That's good. Flip some of those, I guess. Get some cash back, or do whatever you want to do. Okay, I am caught up in the chat. Yeah, so like I said, I had a very, very, very long work week, and did not have a whole lot of YouTube time, so I'm going to be playing a lot of catch up, I anticipate, over the next couple days. Brian is here. I didn't see Brian pop in, but Brian, if you're here, hello. No new pickups. I'll say this. I did get a BCW shipment in the mail, just a couple bags and boards, because I got to do that. And they had a great Father's Day sale, so I took advantage of that. It was like 20% off. Um, I will show you, though, what I read. I'm not going to go too much into depth with the bulk of it, and I think you'll get why. But I'll also talk a little bit about Skrulls. I also completed 30 days of shorts, which I'd like everybody's feedback on if you have any. But I will get into that in a moment. So why don't I just show you what I read first, and we'll do a giveaway. So I had said I was going to sit down and read Sins of Sinister as soon as I had all the parts, and I did that. So that consisted, like I showed last week. I went back and I did about half of it. This week I did the other half. So you have Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants issue number two, rather. Immoral X-Men issue number 3. And this one, I'm not going to talk in depth about it because I think about thinking about doing a longer video on that, maybe something for the channel. Storm the Brotherhood 3, Nightcrawlers number 3. Talking about Skrulls today. Probably not. And Sins of Sinister Dominion number 1. This was the Omega, if you will, be the closing of that storyline. Like I said, I'm not going to talk too much about that. The Sins of Sinister books, we're going to talk about that in a longer video. I'll say this. I enjoyed it more than when I had started to read it. But I will say this. I think a lot of people who say it is the, hey, Mike, it is a return to the Age of Apocalypse type of thing. I think that's an unfair comparison. For more on that, you're going to have to subscribe because that video will probably come out next week at this point. Not this coming week, the week after. I have plans for this week. So we have She-Hulk number 13. I'm enjoying the series all around. It is a bit of a lighter series. I do like that they went back to the original artist here, if not similar. Only because the last couple issues, I know that the art was a little iffy, at least in my opinion. You're beginning to see a little bit of drama come between this rival of She-Hulk and Jack of Hearts, I guess you could say, or Jen's feelings towards both of them. I mean, again, this is kind of like, I would almost call this like an uncomic book, because you're not going to get these big action fights. You'll get little dibbles of action within the series, but this is more of, to be honest, more of almost like a character piece, I guess you could say. If this were a film, I would say it's a character film type of thing. I do like the series. It's, if anything, it's nice to kind of have a break between, I read the big action sequences of Sins of Sinister and another book I'll show you in a few moments. But yeah, still a good read. And I like that they stayed with the same kind of Jen Bartel covers on these too. I did read digitally Immortal X-Men number 10, because I went to go back into my other X-Men books and I can't find my X-Men number 10 and X-Men number 11. So I'm wondering if I put a stack aside or if I just didn't get these. But I guess number 10 was a ramp up to Sins of Sinister, and I thought it was really well done, to be honest with you. See, Bizzle, how are you? Yeah, I agree. I think it's a little bit of hyperbole, David. So I'm going through my stuff to see that, but I did enjoy issue 10, I should say. I read that digitally through the Unlimited app. 11 is not on the Unlimited app yet, but I did enjoy it, and that was good because issue 9... You good, pal? Issue 9, which I thought was right before Sins of Sinister, felt kind of flat for me, but there we go. The only other thing I read this week was Fury number 1. This is a one-shot. Love this cover. This is a variant Mike Del Mundo art. Matthew, you good, buddy? You tired? I think he's tired. Love this artwork. See how it fits my wife's test in a moment. Yes. Yeah, see, I'm gonna weigh in more on that. I think in the longer discussion video. I think it's kind of unfair to both storylines to compare them. To be honest with you, honey, what do you think of this cover? What do you think of this cover?
Very dark.
Can you see what it says?
No.
Look closer.
Mm-mm.
Look at the red lights.
There's a lot of glare. I can see.
Oh.
What does it say?
Look at the red lights.
I can't. There's a lot of
Well,
glare.
here, come closer then.
I have things to do.
No, she says she's busy. You're not going to get on camera. Don't worry. Overall, whether this needed to be a whole issue, to be honest with you, has my head scratching a little bit. I was unaware of any plans for Nick Fury in the comics. I do like, however, that it does does actually reference two stories from about maybe 10 years ago or so that you don't really hear much about anymore. I don't know how well received they were. One is, and they were both around the same time. One was the changing in the guard from the traditional Nick Fury that you may have known, from the 70s, 80s, 90s, to the more MCU-ish style Nick Fury. There's definitely, at least the first time I could remember reading the connection in there and the acknowledgement that that's happened. And also there is a direct reference to Original Sin. That was the Jason Aaron Marvel event where somebody had killed the Watcher, and the worst secrets of all the Marvel characters were exposed to everyone. And it concluded with, I'll give you a spoiler for this, so we'll wait a few minutes. Just in case you don't want to hear this, I'll do the spoiler. Okay, the spoiler to which old Nick Fury, the traditional Nick Fury, remains on the moon as the Watcher on the wall, the man on the wall. Kind of taking over for the Watcher, but not really. But this story actually successfully connects both Nick Furies in that you have... you good? We're just off the rails today. You have original Nick Fury's villain, Zodiac, or is it Scorpio? No, Scorpio. Let's see. I'm going to get to your question in a second. Yeah, which I had only read a couple appearances of myself, Scorpio, but it's a good basis for a villain. They're kind of setting up kind of like a cat and mouse type of relationship between the two. There's a couple nice surprises in this book too. One thing that this book does really well is that it shifts into different timelines. So we started with the modern day Nick Fury, then it goes into a story about the older Nick Fury. But the way that they do it, to be honest with you, I had to see if it was like a reprint or something. It isn't. It's just done in that style, which I thought was pretty cool. And it's kind of like the first meeting of Nick Fury and the original Scorpio. The whole story revolves around the Zodiac key, which you learn more about in here. Yeah, then it goes into another story, which art by Adam Kubert. They do a good job of adding like some sort of effect to it to make it look like old newsprint. And I didn't realize it was Adam Kubert until I had finished the story. And it was kind of funny because looking at some of the scenes, I kept saying like, this kind of reminds me of Joe Kubert's like Sergeant Rock kind of stuff. So there you go. And then you have one more artist for the conclusion of the story that I can't think of the top of my head who the artist is. It's a cleaner, more modern style that, um, in my opinion, kind of detracts from the book. The other thing that kind of detracts me too is that I don't believe that Zodiac or excuse me, Scorpio would just kind of reveal herself in the end like that. But at the end of the day, it's kind of the changing of the guard for the Marvel Universe. Nick Fury's. It's okay. It's acceptable. I liked it. You know, is it a need to buy? No, I mean you can certainly just read it online. To be honest with you, um, Mike Del Mundo is my favorite modern day artist, as some of you may know. So as soon as I saw that cover, I knew I had to pick that up. Let me ask, what do you guys read? What have you guys read this week? In the meantime, I'm going to go back to, I think CBiz had a question. Do you think that Marvel should bring back Shield's comic book? To be honest with you, I wasn't a fan of the Shield comic myself. Tried to read a couple issues, and I kind of saw it as just, hey, let's do a money grab for people, maybe possibly watching the TV series. Like anything, if they could do it in a compelling manner that is less of a movie tie-in and more of something good to read, I'm all there for it. But I don't know. I'm not clamoring for, hey, we need another Shield series. And I'll tell you, I did enjoy a couple issues of the run I did read. It wasn't a regular pull. It's just, I've said this before. There's just too much to read, you know. So you got to make room where you can. And Shield, unfortunately, didn't make the cut. I'll say this though, what I think is a great comic that most people don't really talk about. I think you're starting to hear a little bit of clamoring with it now, maybe just because of the Secret Invasion series, is Hickman's run on Secret Warriors. And he had done actually a Shield run prior to this as well, but it was different. Um, if they were to do another Shield series, I would like something in the style of Secret Warriors. And if you haven't read that, you definitely should. Baby Testix has some opinions. He does. Right, buddy? You want to say hi? Hmm? Nah, he's busy. Head shaved, feeling fresh. I guess they do everything at Whataburger. I don't have one of those by me. Haircut and a burger. Oh, yep, Zach, you got me there too. Yeah, Evil. I'm generally not either. Like I said, I was drawn into it from the artwork, but the way they're doing it, I have to say, it's an interesting take that I didn't really expect. Maybe it's a little derivative because we've seen the whole cat and mouse game before. Um, I don't necessarily get Batman Catwoman vibes from these two, but I would be surprised if we don't see them pop up in some fashion at some point. Yes, if I this is about head shaving. I need a haircut. I was gonna just zoop my head on my own. My wife says no, she'll do it, but
You always do. What do you mean?
I know
it's
you.
a
No, I know you
mistake?
always
I've
do.
done it in the past.
I know you have. I was just trying to give you a break. You know. Superman, World's Finest, Miles, Titans was okay. You know what? I read the first issue of the Miles series. I talked about it a little while back. I like Miles. I read his first two series. It's just I can't get back into it. It's like, okay, I could recognize that this is good, but it's just not for me. At least not at this point. Maybe I'll read it online at some point. Mirrors. Yeah, same here, Wellbore. Same here. Speaking of spies and secret invasion, has anybody checked out the TV show yet? I'll give you my general impression. I liked the first episode. Um, Slower paced, definitely than I would have expected. and it did feel more like a spy kind of drama, more like something along the lines of like a clear and present danger and whatnot. Um, but I'm here for it. The ending threw me off a little bit. I don't think, and I'm trying to remain spoiler free. I don't think it's who we think we. I should say I don't think it was who we said it was, who they show it was. I think it's going to be something else. But yeah, I'm here for it. Look, it's only six episodes, so we're a sixth of the way there already. I'm kind of interested because they obviously cannot go the same way as the actual comic book series, just because there's no setup for that. I feel like it is more of a Secret Warriors type of setup where Nick Fury is underground versus the Skrull invasion itself. I mean, and I think they're going about it at a good pace. Only because if you were to just run right into it, forget it. It would just be totally off the rails at this point. But yeah, I'm here for it. My wife didn't watch it. She has no interest in it. Um, that's fine. Trev, I'm done with Disney Marvel. Does that mean you're not going to watch Deadpool when it comes out next year? You know what it is? I'm like, I could acknowledge that, you know, they've had a couple films that weren't what they should have been. Thor, especially, it was just abysmal in my mind. Speaking of which, I put up a note. I don't know if you guys saw in the community, Tim. After watching the previews for Craven, which we should probably talk about too, is it just that anytime they need somebody to play a father figure in a superhero movie, they just call, Russell Crowe up? It's like, hey, can you do also a bad accent in it? Well, I suspect I'd have to watch it again that this is actually Russell Crowe's real accent. I don't know. Cup, how are you? Enjoy work. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the Marvels next. But I was thinking, to be honest with you, that Guardians was that big Marvel movie for the summer. It feels like there is no big punch between now and well, I guess is Deadpool the next one after Marvels? I'm trying to think because they just moved it up to next May. You know, because Marvels, although I'm definitely interested in seeing it, I don't feel like it's the same big kind of push or whatnot. Um, but again, it's been very early. We only saw one trailer. I'm optimistic. And again, I'm not going to the theaters. I'm watching everything here. So I haven't seen Guardians yet. It's probably not going to hit Disney, I'm thinking, until August at this point. Um, Three Good Nerds, how are you? By the way, if you are a family man like yourself, and like Fanboy, who does another great show, and you haven't done so already, check out Three Good Nerds. I enjoy watching their stuff, and that's hopefully my boy wants to, you know, discuss comics and whatnot in some fashion when he can talk and is a little bit older. But I especially enjoy they do something where I forgot where you Three Good Nerds. I forgot where you said that you get the stats from. They do kind of like these little verse stories. So it was what was it? Catwoman versus wasn't Harley. I forgot which ones you had, but it was an interesting little discussion. I enjoyed it. That was the most recent video I did watch. Speaking of going back to the Skrulls and whatnot, I recently did 30 days of shorts all about the Skrulls. And this came out of a little bit of an experiment. For those of you, Trevor, it wasn't Black Cat. I forgot they had it, but check out the video. It was an interesting talk. The For those of you who might be in some of our membership Instagram groups, I know, like in Brian's Instagram group. Actually, I think both of them are Brian's groups. Um, the I from time to time routinely share some videos and content from Daniel Batale, who you might know. He's a YouTube guy. more of a tech kind of guy, I should say. I found him through StreamYard. He actually does a great live show the last Saturday of the month, so it actually would be today. Unfortunately, it's during the same time I do my show, where him and his partner on the show, because they're through StreamYard. What do they do? They kind of like grade YouTube channels, give you some tips and whatnot. But I follow him. I find his stuff intriguing in general, and he was talking a little bit about shorts. So I said, yeah, I'm going to challenge myself and do 30 days of shorts, all about the Skrulls leading up to Secret Invasion. I still don't understand shorts. To me, I feel like they take the same, if not more, energy than long form videos, but maybe I'm doing them wrong. But I'm interested in feedback on that. So, please let me know either in here, or you could message me or leave a comment on the shorts. And if you haven't seen that yet, any of those shorts yet, and you're interested, go back and check. I can tell you this: after studying and trying to make 60 seconds of content every single day for 30 days on the Skrulls, I feel like I have a PhD like in Skrullery. But I do have a newborn appreciation for the Skrulls, and I really do feel that they are an underutilized group of characters in the Marvel comics. The MCU version does not quite pack the same punch that the comics have. But yeah, definitely rich. I didn't know that there was so much about how Secret Invasion was really kind of like a religious thing for them. I think I remembered at the time, because I forgot about the whole "He loves you" thing, and I kind of hope that they incorporate that, a little bit of that, into the TV series. But they've got to build that up properly. Yeah, fanboy. The research itself was just, and what I wound up doing, I wound up what I wound up doing is I would film one, and it was like a minute and a half. So it's like, all right, I got to figure out where I could make cuts. Some of them I'd cut well, some of them not so much. But I wound up releasing the full minute and a half on my Instagram reels. So you could see the full videos on the Instagram reels, and then the shorts are on YouTube. I do have a video, or I'm in the middle of editing a video. Buddy. I do have a video where I was just condensing all of the shorts into one. So if you haven't seen that, you can watch 30 minutes of Skrull facts. And I figured, look, I might as well. I have the content. Might as well just put them together. Let's take a look here. What else? I think that's all I really have to talk about this week, to be honest with you. I know it's a short episode. I should probably give something away. Honey, pick a number between 1 and 5.
5.
She's always going to pick the higher number. Spoiler alert. And I didn't say 10 because I just shipped out a whole bunch to El Green Machine. He won last week. And I didn't realize that 10 does not fit into a, what do you call it, a short box? Into a Gemini mailer. I had a slightly big, I did some creative packaging, and I just hope everything gets there correctly without damage. But let me see here. Hold on a second. I always need to refer back on how to do these. Come on. StreamYard giveaway tool. Okay. Okay. So do hashtag Skrulls, and you will be entered. Again, that's hashtag Skrulls. SKRULLS. And while that's going on, I'll tell you about some of the content I have prepared. Again, I'm going to be putting out a video probably Monday, I'm guessing. 30 minutes of Skrull facts. and it's just a compilation of the shorts. Hey, buddy, it's just a Oh, I should show this. I'm sorry. Yeah. Again, hashtag Skrulls, and you'll get 5 comics this week. Yeah, so just 30 minutes of Skrull facts. We are gonna do a cooking video, another cooking video soon, maybe as soon as tonight. Probably because they involve fresh ingredients. So we're kind of gonna have to move on those, if not tonight, then tomorrow. But I'm leaning more towards tonight. And I do want to do that Sins of Sinister kind of, I don't want to call it a recap, but just kind of my impressions, just to give everybody just another thing. Thanks, Zach. Did you try to make the recipe? And by the way, I've been rewatching Ted Lasso a little bit as well. As I say, if you haven't seen that series, again, this is now totally off of comics, but if you haven't watched that series, you should, because that's, especially like Fanboy, I feel like you would really like that. 3 Good Nerds, maybe. But yeah, just very, very well done. I don't even want to tell you more about it, but yeah. Trying to think. Any other videos I had planned? I think that was it. Okay. 8 entries so far. I'm gonna. Sorry, my little guy just tossed one of his stuffed animals outside of his pack and play. Kind of distracted us for a bit.
It's just like...
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I mean, really, it's a great show about fathers and sons, relationships, that type of thing. I was trying to get my wife to watch it. She's kind of stuck on the soccer stuff, so I don't think she's gonna tune into it. But you're missing out, honey. And let me tell you something. Probably the best casted series I've seen in a long time. Roy Kent, Jamie Tart, Coach Beard, Lasso himself. I thought even the female owners. The only one maybe that was a little weak, I thought his mother was a bit weak in the show. Just that one episode that she was on. Yeah, Fanboy, it's on Apple TV. Do yourself a favor. They always have like promotions going on. Jump on like one of those free 3-month promotions. You can blow through that series quite easily. It's only 3 seasons. Well, Bobby, you don't know what a Skrull is. It sounds like you can watch some shorts or the long form video and catch up on it. Basically, if you've seen Captain Marvel, those are the shape-shifting aliens. But really, through this series, it's so much deeper than that. And I would certainly like to see the Skrulls do more in the Marvel comics. I know that there was recently a limited series out, Meet the Skrulls. I have not read that yet at all, though. Yeah, I'm not a soccer fan either, but I enjoy the show. I do want to watch soccer, actually, kind of as a byproduct of it, but I don't know when or where it's on. Let's see. Yeah, Brian, I think you'd enjoy it really as well. Like I said, I mean, Apple's always doing these little promotions. You can easily do that in probably less than a month. Okay. I am going to give it, let's say, 30 more seconds or 45 more seconds. I'm going to give it until, okay, I can't count. I'm going to give it a few more seconds here, then we're going to draw. We've got 8 entries in so far. And I didn't grab the books ahead of time, so you're going to see me go off and then come back on. Soccer's usually super early in the morning since the good stuff is played in Europe. Yeah. And you know what? Actually, the New York Red Bulls practice not far from here, actually. The town next to my hometown, they practice right in Whippany, or Hanover Township, as they say. But that's not the level I want to watch. I want to watch the European ones. I think the last time I watched soccer, I remember, I think it was after our second date, honey. We went to the Randolph Diner, and you were using the powder room, and I was out in the front lobby watching a little bit of the Women's World Cup with the staff. So we're talking. That was.
I didn't know that.
Yes, because we were talking about it when you came out.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, that was our second date.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was centuries ago, right?
Yes, centuries. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to pull this. Honey, do you want to do the honors?
What am I doing?
Hit the button that says draw. Okay, it's spinning. Let's see who the winner is. Okay. Do you want to do the honors or want me to just show the screen?
You can show the screen.
Trev, I feel like I've sent you a whole lot of stuff. Trev, I'm going to send you your books if you don't mind. When I send out, I'm working on a little piece for Trev, still from the 200 subscriber giveaway. So congrats to Trev. Let me run downstairs, grab you 5 books, and I'll show them off, and I will be right back. Honey, do you want to entertain people while we're doing that? Be right back. Hold on. This is the cost of not being prepared, by the way. It's just walking out on your own show. Honey, just tell people about how much you like the Craven preview.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Okay, I'm back. Trev, it's like you were there with me because I pulled out actually a couple more DC books than I anticipated. And I actually threw in a 6th one only because 2 of the books look like they have a bunch of spine ticks on it. They're not all DC. But here, this is what Trev is getting here. This is a run I'm trying to complete, and I already have this one. This is why this is in the giveaway bin. This is What If, I think this is the 2nd series. Number 10, What If the Punisher's family hadn't been killed? Okay. Generation X, 35. This is when Larry Hama took over. Oh, good luck painting, Brian. DC Comics number 1. This was the New 52 preview. Dark Knight Returns, The Last Crusade. Yeah, 3 good notes. I appreciate the what ifs only because I feel like they write with a certain amount of freedom because I don't have to worry about continuity. Some of the older ones, though. Some of the new series, not for me, but oh well. Tome, issue number 2. No, this one's not a DC either. And last but not least, this is the bonus one I picked. Catwoman, number 13.
She's attacking.
Yes, Catwoman is attacking me while scuba diving. Here's the test. Honey, what do you think of this cover?
I don't think I've ever seen her scuba dive before. Why was she scuba diving?
You know what? It's odd that you mentioned that. Is that it looks like she's deep underwater. And again, I'm assuming scuba diving because she's got goggles, but no oxygen tanks. Yeah, in fact, the guy that she's beating up here doesn't have an oxygen tank either. Oh, no, he does. It's out of his mouth. And as is the guy behind him. So part of Catwoman's powers is that she can breathe underwater without an oxygen tank. Excuse me. Things that make you go, indeed. Okay, and with that, we are the Joker book cover. I think it's a JRJR cover. It is. Yeah, let's see. Hold on, is it JRJR? Yeah, Ramita Jr., and I know this is a Frank Miller one-shot. I remember reading it, but not really liking it. That's why it's in my giveaway pile. But I digress. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for giving me a little bit of your weekend. I hope that you guys do something great. Enjoy the rest of your days, whether it's watching YouTube. If you're here in the Northeast, you're probably not going outside because it's pouring like crazy. But with that, peace, love, and comics. Take care, everybody.